going on, YouTube? What's going on out there in them YouTube streets? Figure I'd come back. It's your boy Ghost. I'm back with another story time. Plus I'm just back to talk some shit. I watch a lot of this, YouTube, and I watch a lot of other social, different social formats of Instagram and whatever. And you know, I just find it funny, man, because like you got these clowns. What's their name? The uh, the the Island Boys. Yeah, Island Boys. Now I remember I just seen them do an interview with Say Cheese, and in the Say Cheese interview, they talk about that they not blood or anything, and they never seen no white bloods and blah 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 when they were speaking on 1090 Jake, but I also there's videos on YouTube of them claiming that they was rolacking that they was sex money murder. So now a couple months ago y'all sex money murder, and then when y'all say cheese, y'all not blood. Like I don't know, man. Like people's it's clown activity to me because I grew up from some era where if you claim something, you claim that. Like you did something to get that, and once you become that, as long as you ain't one of them flippers, as long as you ain't a dolphin and you ain't flipping from set to set or doing whatever's good for the moment, like people picked what they was in and that's what they stuck with, like period, point blank, you know, like and to see these clowns get on a video, get on Say Cheese and talking about, nah, like I don't know no white bloods. When they was asked about 1090 Jake, but I know plenty of white bloods, plenty, and that's East Coast sets and West Coast sets. But like them themselves was just claiming blood, like all over the internet a year, 2 years ago. That's all they was talking. It was blood stat. They was talking. They said they was saying they was rolacking. They was saying they was 252 sex money murder. And then now they act like they don't know, like they nothing. They say nah, they nothing. I just got this because I like color red. And man, all that shit's fugazi. That's that fake shit, man. It's the same thing with this Whack 100 character. Like you whatever you are on the West Coast, like you whatever, and you on YouTube talking to the police about Chris on Rock at Blueface house. You sitting there basically trying to get the girl locked up and pushed out the house. You telling the police about the girl live on TV, like you snitching. Not only in black and white on paperwork, like we would say we want to see that shit in black and white, or we want to see that shit on black and gold, we want to see that shit on paper, but you snitching like live on TV on camera. But yet you supposed to be a big pyro or something. Like, nah, like that shit don't work like that. Like shit like that, you would have got dealt with. Like if you would have been, one of my peoples and you'd have been doing that weird shit, motherfuckers would have dealt with you, or you would have just had to, keep it moving somewhere else, because you're not a civilian. The Island Boys, they trying to be civilians now, but Whack 100 ain't a civilian. And he's blatantly telling, like, talking to the police like they his buddy, just like he always talking to 6ix9ine, that's his buddy. But I don't know, shit like that don't fly in the world I come from. But anyway, let me get to my little story time, and it's funny because it plays off of that. Like, I remember, like, when like the blood shit started getting heavier here on the East Coast, and like they started, this is in the late '90s, and it started getting heavy. So, I'm from North New Jersey. Like, North New Jersey was blurted out. But I had been away for so many years at the time. I wasn't familiar. Like, when I went away, like, there was no bloods out there on the street. You know, there just wasn't. I go down to prison. I start seeing my peoples come down there. And I'm seeing people that I know was straight suckers on the street. And now they blood and stuff. And I'm like, damn, like, this dude used to be we used to send him to the store to buy blunts and shit. Like, he's a straight sucker. And now he's down here and he's blood and this and that and, you know, whatever. But there was this one situation when this dude, like, came down and just come with this false flag and shit. Like, a person came down there and really, like, he must have been around it enough to where he knew enough to get by around certain people. And, like, he was cool with certain people, so the shit was just going for so long. Like, so he was, claiming to be whatever set, he was claiming to be from. So, on each tier down prison, and especially in that era, there might have been 5, 6 bloods on the unit out of 120 something people. And, you got a downstairs unit. You got units that you can see from the yard, or you can talk to through the window. And, like, people see each other, and it's only going to be a matter of time before the truth going to come out the dark and come to the light, because eventually somebody going to come down that bitch that know you. And, that's exactly what happened to Boy. Boy was down there, he was talking all this tough shit. You know what I'm saying? That he's talking about he had rank, this rank. I'm not going, get into the ranks and all that other shit, but he was talking about he had this rank. He was sending little homies on missions and taking people back, like doing shit that completely against everything that anybody that gangbangs and really gangbangs for the right reason or whatever association you're with, like, is against, like, oppression and all that stuff like that. But that's exactly what he was doing. Like, he had little homies running, taking people bags, like stealing out of people's room. Not even taking people's shit, like stealing, sneak stealing type shit. So, motherfuckers started getting on his ass, like behind his back. They started, like, not liking the shit he was doing and how he was carrying himself. So they started, like, saying, like, yo, like, bro, like, this guy, like, stealing, like, he got little homies stealing. So now they tell him, the little homies, like, look, that's not the way you do it, like, blah blah blah, but this is what we're gonna do, like, to make your situation right, because it's not your fault, y'all being misled by this guy. So they was already plotting against dude about that whole situation of having him having people going stealing. So, hold on. Simone, what we gonna go with? We're gonna go with the Blackberry Kush, or we're gonna go with this Zuchelado, this cake. Then we're gonna go with the Blackberry Kush. Anyway, so they was already plotting on, like, giving him a little wake-up call. And just as they was getting ready to do that, somebody comes down there and sees old boy. They find out, oh, he claiming he big blood over there doing this. Like, really, like, on the street, he hung around the homies, but he wasn't blood. Like, never was blood, never became blood on the street. Everything he was claiming wasn't real, but because he was in a prison that was all the way down southern New Jersey, he thought he was going to get away with that shit. Especially because he was a young boy and he was in prison. And there's only like a handful of young boys in certain prisons, because when you're a young boy, you go to youth correctional. Youth correctionals, like, in Jersey, we got 3 of them: Annandale, Yarville, and Bordentown. Bordentown is gladiator school. Annandale, they used to call that Disneydale. like like that we used to call it the soft jail, like. And then like Yardville used to be for like that was like a mix of both because that used to be for young boys coming down had a lot of time. They had like 20 years. They had like our house over there. They had people over there doing 20, 30, 40 years. And Bordentown, like you got sent down Bordentown if your hand game wasn't right or if you wasn't nobody, like they used to drag you in the dugout because you coming back, you have to go get canteen. When you coming back on the highway, you walking on the turnpike, we used to call it, walking down that turnpike, walking on that turnpike, coming back with your bag, they'll snatch you in the dugout, pull you in the dugout in a little cut, and take your whole bag and just you walking back with an empty laundry bag with maybe a few oodles and noodles left in it. But anyway, to get back to the story now, they get down there and old boy, you know, word gets around that he false claiming, he false flagging. So now the word come from next door like, yo, he gotta get dealt with, like, he gotta get, he put on the plate. So he got put on the plate. He's food. Now he's on the menu for the night. So now the same little homies that he's sending to steal from people, because his broke ass ain't had no money, so he was sending little homies to steal shit, just so he had shit. Now, the motherfuckers that had some sense took the same little motherfuckers and was like, look, it's not y'all fault that y'all was being misled, but y'all gotta make y'all situation right. And how y'all gonna do that is y'all gonna go in there and y'all gonna eat this motherfucker. Y'all gonna pop this boy. So of course they gonna do what they supposed to do because now they was being misled by somebody who wasn't even really blood for one, and number two he was misleading them. He had them preying off the weak and taking people's sneak stealing people's commissary. Now a thief, I don't think no organizations tolerate that thief and shit. Like if you're gonna take it from somebody, take it with your hands. Give them the opportunity to fight for their shit. Like don't just go in there when nobody's there or people are out at mess or out in the yard and go steal some shit out their room. Nah, people wasn't going for that there. So what they did was they had the three little homies. They waited till he was coming back from the shower one day. So while he come back from the shower, two of them playing right there because his room was right next to the steps. He coming from the shower upstairs, he coming down the steps. The two little homies is like under the steps and his room is right there. And they like playing, like they playing with their hands, like. And then they start playing with him and stuff because he got a towel on and shit. And they playing with him, joking and stuff. So now he waiting to get his door bust open. So meanwhile, the third boy come walking up from the other direction. And as soon as he got his door popped, he walk in the room. They just all walk in the room. And immediately, the boy put the motherfucking window block up. Now, what you do is, they give you just, in your little, when you come down, you get a little kit, like, come with a little toothbrush, toothpaste, to hold you over till you get your commissary. So everybody uses them toothbrushes to hold up a towel in the window because it bends and it'll hold the towel up to block the window so y'all can get in the room and nobody can really walk by and be nosy and shit because that nosy shit is what get people locked up. But when y'all want to just get it off on DL, put a block up on the window, have somebody, make sure, the person can't get out that room yelling and screaming. And then, so anyway, them three boys, they did him dirty in that room. And I'm talking about dirty, like they did him dirty. Like he was leaking from everywhere. So they came out the room. Now, one of my brothers used to work in the laundry. So the whoever, my man who was their big homie and shit came to me and my bro was like, yo, can you help me get rid of, these boots and these linens because they got blood all over it. And they gotta get rid of their pants and blah blah blah. So I'm like, yeah, because at the time I used to take the garbage down to the end of the compound. So my brother did the laundry. He go get the laundry bag that they don't put a pair of state boots that had blood all over it, some pants, state pants in there. It was some sheets and state blanket that had blood all on it. They put it all up in the bag and then gave it to my man. My man threw it in the laundry garbage, and then he tied it up in a knot and just put it out by the regular garbage. Now, after the next movement, they told boy, you gotta stay in your room until after the next movement and then go check in. So, as soon as the movement was done, like the meal movement was done, I'll take the bags they call jobs out. They'll be like runners out, jobs out, school out, whatever, boom, boom. So I'll take the garbage, and I'll take it down the end of the compound, go toss it out. They go, all the evidence is gone. So now, while I'm down there doing that, boy go to the police and be like, yo, I gotta check in. But when I tell you this boy looked like, I don't know if you ever seen the Martin episode when he had got beat up, I think, by Hitman Hearns. And he had knots all over his shit. Boy had knots all over his shit. He was bleeding from so many different spots on his head from getting stomped. Like, he couldn't even walk straight. Like, he was like stumbling around. I had to come get him with a wheelchair and take him out of the compound. But that come from, that want to be down, fake shit. And then when the truth comes to the light, like, that's what happens. But I don't know how, like, in this, like, nowadays in times, it's like so many people is telling and shit that they starting to blur the lines between reality and what they doing, because like people is blatantly becoming rats, like, or dry snitching, like we call it dry snitching, like when you telling, but you telling like in a way where you just on the borderline where people really can't say you ratting, but you dry snitching, like like them fucking weird ass weird ass whack 100, like you on YouTube talking to the police. I brought Christine Rock, whatever her name is, and what she did and what she broke and who she hit and put her hands on, did this, that, and the third, trying to get her removed from the property, arrested, charges filed against her, and all this other shit. But then you claiming a gang, like you're not a citizen, my man. Like that shit fucks me up in my head, like. And then you got these island weirdos, the island girls, like boys pluck their eyebrows, like they weirdos, man. I won't be surprised a couple years from now they with men. You know what I'm saying? See that type of shit all day. But like, goddamn, I seen the video. They was talking to some inmates locked up there in Georgia, I believe, and they was on the video live on YouTube, and they like, yeah, what's Rolacking, blah blah blah, and they was like, oh yeah, murder, yeah, oh yeah, we murdered this, that, and third, blah blah, big homie such and such, and they was talking all that shit. But now they ain't talking none of that shit. They ain't talking none of that shit no more, And I don't know if they got checked on the street. I don't know if they just started realizing like they was walking down a real slippery slope, or when they was in the juvenile place, somebody might have, like, just for shits and giggles, just like let me have this motherfucker around me and have him think he's blood, just so I could jail off him, because people do that. People would have somebody around them and sit there and make them think that they something just because they getting a big bag of commissary and he eating off them. So as long as he eating off them, they whatever they say they are. But that's only for when you around that person. And then when you leave, you go to another unit or go somewhere else and you try to talk that shit, you're gonna get your ass beat the fuck up. But anyway, it's another day that, It's another episode of That's Fact TV. I'm gonna start uploading on a way more consistent level. I'm gonna see where we could take this channel, man. This channel's like, I've been wanting to do this for years, but I didn't know how to, like, I thought like getting on YouTube would be like crossing the line or something. Like, I don't know, like I had to really get to a certain point in my life where I was like, you know what, like fuck it, I'm gonna get on there. But like if I would have started 4 years ago, I think I'd have been, somewhere else with this. But now I'm starting now, and this gonna be my year right here. Like, let's see what we can do for the real, man. Like, I got plenty of stories, but we're gonna start doing reactions. I'm also gonna start talking to people about, which once you come home, and you can get a job, how to get a job, how to start working your credit, and how to maximize everything that you do and turn your credit. Like, it's not true like that when you come home, like, oh, you can't get a job, oh, you can't have credit. Like, you might not even have no bad credit when you come home from prison. But we're gonna talk about all that in the future. But it's been another episode of That's Fact TV. We're gonna give you nothing but the facts. And that's a fact. Alright, it's your boy Ghost. I'll see y'all another day.